And it's just not going. It's not that it's going bad, it's not going at all. And it's hard not to be frustrated when I know that I have the ability to do this. My brain is just putting up stupid resistances for no good reason. I did it. Hey guys, how's it going? Wow, Bug, you look awful. I know, I feel kind of awful. I'm about to hop in the shower, so ignore the greasiness, but I've been quite sick for the last few days. I'm still quite sick, but I'm feeling significantly better. Right now it's mostly just a cold, which I can deal with. It's just annoying. Today is going to be a writing vlog because I need the accountability of a vlog. Otherwise I will just stay in bed all day, and I've been in bed enough. I slept a lot. Too much, maybe? But my body obviously needed it, so it's fine. But now I have stuff to do today because I've been sick the last couple of days. I even called in sick from work one day last week. It's my first time ever calling in sick at this job. I've been here like a year and a half. So that was a big deal. If I sound out of breath, it's because I am. My cold isn't super affecting my breathing, but I have bad lungs because surgery complications from when I had my back surgery. My ribs can't expand, so I can't take a deep breath. So if I'm coughing a lot, once I'm like out of breath, I have a really hard time catching it again. So if it sounds like I'm struggling to breathe, don't worry, that's just me. Like I said though, I am feeling much better than I was last week and a couple days ago. So I can do things, I need to do things, and I haven't been writing. And a little part of me wants to blame it on how sick I've been, but it's so much more than that. I'll get into that probably in a later clip. This is just the intro because I need to take a shower first. It is 11 o'clock. I woke up at 10 and I need to take a shower. A nice hot shower would make me feel better. And I want to start writing as soon as I'm out of the shower. So if I film the intro now and immediately go take a shower, the accountability of filming the second clip with my hair wet will force me to actually get out of the shower and then sit down and write, not just pitter-patter around the house for an hour and then say that it's been 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Because I think that I'm in the mindset that I want to cheat myself. And I don't actually want to, but my like tired, sick part of my brain just wants to be like, you know what, let's just not today. Let's not do anything. Take another day off. Like, it's fine. And no, because I have such a busy week coming up at work this week. On one hand, it works out kind of nice. I had Sunday off from last week. My work schedule goes from Monday to Sunday. And I had Sunday off. This week I have Monday and Tuesday off, which is awesome. But next week is inventory week for the first part of the week, so I'm probably not going to have a day off until Friday. So as nice as it is to have 3 days off in a row, it does mean that I'm going to end up working Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Which is going to really, really suck while I'm still not feeling all that great. And it's going to be a busy week because, like I said, it's inventory and we have so much extra stuff to do. And I'm going to be so tired and I'm not going to want to write. So I need to write now while I still can. I can't afford to take these days off. I'm going to beat myself up and feel even worse if I waste these days because I'm not sick enough to justify doing nothing. Even though my voice probably doesn't sound it and my face doesn't look it, I am well enough that doing nothing today is indeed a waste. So I'm gonna go take a shower right now. When I come back, my hair will still be wet. I'm not gonna come back immediately out of the shower. I'll dry myself off and feed the cats and like probably make myself a tea or something for writing. But if my hair is not wet in the next clip, be mean to me. Yeah, be mean to me, it's okay. Ta-da! Alright, I'm back. I have successfully showered. Look at me go. I am also losing so much hair. It's fine. Ta-da! That was a lovely shower. I do feel much better. I feel like I'm breathing a little bit better. I'm slightly less congested, and I just feel clean, you know? I feel better. I also was listening to my Monsters and Imaginary Friends playlist while I was in the shower. If anyone is wondering, I hit none of the high notes. But it's fine. I am ready to write. I'm in the mood to write. I haven't been writing much the last couple weeks. Actually, do you want to know how bad it is? Let me see. Let me look at my stats, because they're not good. Ooh, what's this notification? Oh, okay. One of my library book holds that I put on just came through. And that could, ooh. Okay. You probably won't see this vlog for probably like 2 weeks, honestly. But there's a reading vlog that I was supposed to have come out this Friday, as of time of filming this, for my snake Fossil's birthday. I know it's not a birthday, it's a hatch day because he was never born. But everybody else in the house gets a birthday and I don't want him to feel left out, so we call it a birthday here for him. But he's gonna be 2 years old on Saturday, and I wanted to do a snake-themed reading vlog with him. So I placed some holds at the library for some snake-themed books. And this, I think it's a Medusa retelling. I just saw it real quick pop up. Which one is it? Yeah, it's a Medusa retelling. And I was supposed to film that over the last couple days. But not only was I sick, Fossil decided to go into shed, which is fine, obviously, like that means he's growing, I'm happy with that. But if you don't know, when a snake gets ready to shed, there's like, it's like an oil, not really an oil, but like an oil between the layer of scales that they're keeping and the layer of scales that's being shedded off. It also includes their eye caps because they have transparent scales over their eyeballs. So he is currently blind. Very stressful for him to be picked up and brought into new environments while he cannot see. So that's being delayed, which is obviously completely fine. But hi, Ripley. But now I have another book that I could read for it, so that's really cool. Yeah, I'm ready for it. Borrow now. It is an audiobook! Oh, that's so exciting! What are you licking? Ripley, I don't think that's for you, whatever it is. Where is my water? Is it behind me? It is. Everything's fine. Why did I initially grab my eye? Because I wanted to look up my reading stats. No, my writing stats. I promise I am feeling better. Alright, so now let's chat about the issues I've been having. I just haven't been writing. I finished my outline, I finished my zero draft, I'm ready to start draft, I'm calling it 5.2, and it's just not going. It's not that it's going bad, it's not going at all. Like, it has been 3 weeks, I think, realistically, and I have written 2 chapters. That's not even true. I'm actually like 2 pages into chapter 2. A lot of it is because work was just getting busy, I was getting stressed, I was getting overwhelmed, I wasn't making time for writing. And then when I was writing, I just keep rewriting the same friggin' parts over and over and over again. I have been so unable to turn off my inner editor and just move on, and I don't know why, because I'm usually like good at that. And there's no reason, because I have an outline, and it's a good outline, and I'm following it, and it all makes sense. And I have a zero draft that I just wrote, so it's not like I don't know what's happening. It's not like I'm struggling to make sense of the story in my mind. But the zero draft is like bare enough that it's not like I've just written this and I'm not in the mood to rewrite it. I am in the mood to write it. It just isn't working for some reason. And it's not like I'm just really out of practice with writing new, like, polished words, because in November and December, well, no. Actually, sorry, just November, I was writing my draft 5 words, and they were good. They were a hell of a lot better than what I'm writing now. There's just something in my brain that's just not working, and I'm just at this wall for no reason. It honestly took me almost 2 weeks to write the opening scene, and the opening scene is barely changing. Like, it has been the same almost the whole time, and I'm happy with it because I almost changed it. I thought maybe that was the problem, was that it was too similar and I needed something different, and I tried something different and didn't like it. I much prefer how it is now. I think, honestly, a big part of it is just the fear of actually starting. Like, having a somewhat blank page is just a wall that I keep coming up against. And instead of writing onwards, I'm just rewriting what I've already written. And I'm just so hypercritical about every single word that I type. Like, I just keep changing the same sentences back and forth and back and forth. Or I was like, ooh, I should say, you know, cried here and sobbed here. Oh no, because I should say sobbed here and cried here. No, I should say cried and then sobbed. Like, I'm not doing revisions right now. I'm drafting. So I have to write. I'm gonna fix it later. And it's just not clicking in my brain. It's just not working. And I think that vlogging and having this accountability where I can tell you I got this far, I wrote this many words, etc., is going to be a good type of pressure. I feel like for the last couple weeks I've been putting really like negative and critical pressure on myself, and that's not working. Like, that's not helping me feel creative, that's not helping me feel motivated, that's just making me want to drag my feet more. But I think that a vlog and the accountability, being able to tell people I finished this much of the scene, or I got this many words, or I came this far into this part, or whatever it is, I feel like that's a productive kind of pressure, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm gonna put on my playlist, I'm gonna refill my water bottle, I'm gonna get a live stream up that I can watch along, and I'm gonna write, and I'm gonna check in once I've made some freaking progress. Hello, welcome to the kitchen. I am making myself a tea, but it's a little bit too hot and I want to add a little bit of milk, so I'm letting it steep for a few minutes first. That writing sprint, though, went, I'm going to say amazing. I'm going to say amazing. I wrote a little over 500 words, which is very good. It did take me almost 2 hours. There was a short break in there. Let's just call it 2 hours. For my normal writing speed, 500 words in 2 hours is not good progress at all, but I have not written more than 500 words in a day in over a month. Possibly longer than that, but my little graph only goes back a month, and this is the most successful writing day I've had on that graph. I'm happy with that. I feel like I'm on a bit of a roll now, but it's a good time for a break because, one, I want tea. My headache was coming back to the point that it was getting distracting, so I took another ibuprofen and I'm making myself a tea while I wait for that to kick in. But also, I'm at a part that I'm changing around quite a bit. Not really. The part that I'm at, I'm changing around the characters, the direction of the conversation a little bit. So, Joey just got attacked by the monster, that was already written. Rabla came and found Joey, tried to scare him, because that's what he does. He's the monster that lives in his closet. So he came out to try and scare him, and then realized, oh wait, shit, something's actually wrong. And then realizes that Joey's hurt. So then he calls for Jax, the imaginary friend, who has just appeared. In the previous versions of this scene, Jax misinterprets what he sees, and he thinks that Rabla hurt Joey, and he's freaking out, yelling at Rabla, and then Rabla getting really angry and defensive, because like he would obviously never hurt a kid and all this stuff. But I kind of realized it just doesn't quite work with who they really are. Like, as an introduction to the two characters, this is the first time we're seeing them, it's building that animosity between them, but that's not how either of them would react. Because Jax and Rabla aren't enemies. They're like each other's most annoying coworker. Like, imagine a coworker who you just don't get along with, you find them so annoying, and the department that they work in is just always a pain in the butt to the department that you work in. Like, you're just always butting heads, you're both making each other's jobs inconvenient while you're trying to do your own work. You don't think that they're evil, you just hate working with them. That's the dynamic that I'm trying to go for. Because a monster and an imaginary friend do work together. Like, they're two sides of the same coin. It's like a dream and a nightmare, right? They both serve a purpose, even if one is considered bad. If somebody who you know and like have some sort of relationship with suddenly calls you and says, hey, I need your help, and you walk up to them and you see that they're with an injured child, you're not going to immediately assume that they hurt the child, you know? Like, this isn't a stranger, this isn't an enemy, this isn't somebody with a violent history. Like, They're just your annoying coworker. Rabla would never actually hurt a kid, and Jax knows that. So it just didn't make sense that that's how Jax was reacting. I'm kind of brainstorming how the conversation needs to go now, since it doesn't make sense for Jax to assume that Rabla hurt Joey. He still needs to assume that Rabla did something, because they know that Joey was home alone and all of a sudden he's injured, because they haven't figured out yet that there was another monster. The monster came and attacked him. Like, Joey's in the middle of a panic attack and isn't coherent enough to explain to them what happened yet. So Jax's first impression, his assumption, is that Rabla was either being irresponsible or had some like elaborate scaring thing going on, and somehow Joey accidentally got hurt. Like, that's the perspective that Jax should have. And then Rabla can still be insulted about that. Like, he's like, no, I'm professional. Like, why would you even think that this is my fault? Obviously, I just found him like this. That's why I called you for help. So I'm just kind of tweaking their conversation to make more sense, and kind of thinking like what each character would logically assume, while still weaving in the explanations that I need to for the reader to understand what's happening. So I took a little break to do that. I think I have a couple ideas, and I think that I know what changes I need to make and what I can keep from the original. So yeah, I'm going to drink my tea, brainstorm a little bit more, and then get back to writing. I'm feeling like I'm on a bit of a roll though. Like, I have a little bit of momentum, and I'm really excited about that. But that's the update, that's the game plan, and I'll check in a bit. Hello again. Good news and bad news since the last time I updated. The good news is the writing. I got about 320 words, I think, something around there. So I'm very happy with that progress, especially because a good chunk of that was brainstorming how the conversation would logically go and trying to get in each character's head and figure out like what their immediate assumption would be. Because the reader knows that it was a monster. Like, the reader, we just saw the scene previous to this. We know what happened. But monsters, unlicensed monsters coming into the real world is a very rare thing. Like, that doesn't really happen. So I have to make it make sense on why the characters aren't assuming that. Because as of right now, the reader doesn't know the rules of the imagination world yet. Like, we're on the second chapter. We haven't really met the imagination world and its system. So I'm trying not to be info dumpy, but trying to make sure the reader has enough knowledge for where we're at right now. Because that was something I didn't do a great job of in the previous draft. So my beta reader feedback was like, wait, why are they assuming this? Or why aren't they assuming this? Why is this happening? Because we don't know those rules yet. So that makes sense. And I think I did a better job this time at going into that. So I'm happy with that. The bad news is that I started feeling kind of awful. I started getting a headache. And at first I thought it was just a pressure headache, just like the congestion and just, you know, that pressure buildup when you have a cold. But then I was getting a lot of like light sensitivity, and I tried, you know, taking a break and looking at things far away. Like, I thought maybe it was just my eyes from looking at the screen for too long, even though I have been taking regular breaks. But then the light sensitivity got so bad, I had to go lay down in the living room with the light off. I had 2 towels over my head. It was not fun. So I took not a nap, because I didn't actually fall asleep, but I just took a rest. I listened to some nice music and just like laid on the couch with towels over my head and my eyes closed for about an hour. And it's helped a lot. And my next problem is that maybe like half an hour ago, I came in here to take an ibuprofen. And I don't remember if I actually took it because I got distracted, and I don't remember for sure taking it, but I also don't remember for sure not taking it. So I'm going to wait another 30 minutes, and if it doesn't start to improve, I'll assume that I didn't take one, and I'll take one then. And if it does start to improve, then I probably took one, and either way it's improving and I don't need one anyways. And I am craving an omelet so bad. I don't know why. I haven't been thinking about omelets until now. I haven't seen any omelets. No one else has mentioned any omelets. Like, the idea of an omelet just popped into my head and sounded so irresistible. So I'm gonna take an omelet break, and I am very, very excited. I don't know what I have in the fridge right now. I know I have eggs and I have cheese, and that's really all I need. But I would like maybe some ham. I might have a tiny bit of ham. And I have bacon in the freezer. Either way, I'm gonna make an omelet. By the time that's done, it'll probably be 30 minutes, and then I'll decide if I need another ibuprofen or if I'm good enough that I can start writing again after I eat. But either way, that is currently the game plan. And like I said, I wrote a little bit more. I'm at over 800 words for the day, which is double my most productive day all month. We're not going to harp on about how disappointing it is that the bar was set so low. We're just going to be proud about how far I've cleared that bar, right? We're not going to shame past me for how bad we were struggling. We're just going to be proud of current me. That's the mindset that I need to embody right now. That's the little update. I'm happy with the writing, not so happy with my headache. Hello, it is now the next day. I wrote a little bit more last night, but my headache just kept getting worse, and the light sensitivity was getting steadily worse, to the point that I was kind of worried that it was going to start becoming more of a migraine and just did not want to deal with that. So I didn't end up updating last night, but I wrote a few hundred more words, I think. My total for the day ended up being 958, which is amazing for how I've been lately. Also, it snowed last night. Most of the snow is melted by now anyways, it's afternoon. But yeah, when I went to throw out the garbage last night, it was snowing. Yes, it is the end of April. It was a nice surprise. I was very happy. And I know that you were all dying to know about my omelet last night. It was amazing. Oh, it was so good. I've had some bacon and I had some ham that I put in it. I put extra cheese and then I sprinkled a little bit more cheese on top. Today I'm going to try to write a little bit more, but I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to have the lights dimmed a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I take a lot of breaks with my eyes. I have a few things I have to do today. I don't know how many of them I'm going to get done. I want to make the bed because I haven't made the bed in a couple days, and I was sleeping so much the last couple of days that I think just making the bed, changing the sheets, doing all that will just make me feel better. I need to film a video today. I think I mentioned this already, but I was going to have the reading vlog come out this week, but now that's delayed. So I think I want to film a TBR because that requires a lot less prep, and where I'm already feeling not quite my best, I think that'll just be a safer option than trying to like plan something and do all this big thing. So that's probably what I'll do today. If you see a video that came out in the last couple weeks, I don't know when you'll see this, where I'm wearing this outfit, you'll know that I did it today, so good job me. I did the dishes yesterday, so I just have to put them away today, so that's awesome. And oh, and I want to do like a little workout today. Not a big one because I'm still taking it slow, making sure that, you know, my body is good, focusing on rest, but I haven't really been doing a lot of movement the last couple of days. So I think that even just doing something gentle today, even just like going on a nice walk, will help me feel better. So not a lot of things on the plan for today, but all of the things I'm going to try to kind of take slow and just be gentle with myself, especially because where I'm so close to feeling better, I really don't want to push it and make myself sick again, especially with such a busy week and a half coming up. So a gentle plan, but still a plan nonetheless. And hopefully that'll give me lots of time to write. I'm just in the mood to write. And I haven't really been that much in a writing mood the last couple of weeks. Like every time I sit down to write, it's more of a chore than something that I'm enjoying doing. But I think right now, my excitement of it is bringing that fun back up, and I'm feeling really good about it. So that's the game plan. I don't know when I'll check in next, probably at some point in the next couple hours. I'll make sure that I check in at least at some point today. I also don't know how long this vlog is going to last for because I have no plan. I was just feeling unmotivated and turned on a camera, and here we are. But either way, I'll update you when there's something worth updating you on. slight update. I've written almost 350 words, but it has been many hours, and I should have been able to write much more than that because I'm at a part of the scene that is barely changing. Honestly, I probably could essentially copy paste what I wrote in the last draft into this new draft and it would fit just fine. It would be good enough. I can just revise it later. But obviously I don't want to copy paste even if I'm keeping the same like sentence. I'm retyping it. And I just keep doing that same thing of I'll type a sentence and then stare at it for like 5 minutes and think, is that really the best word choice here? Is there another word I could use? Or should I add something else to this sentence? Should I make the sentence longer? Should I make the sentence shorter? How does the sentence fit in with the paragraph? Like, all of these things that are a great thing to worry about if I was revising, but I'm not. I'm drafting. And just because it's a draft 5, it's still drafting. And it's just not sinking in my head for some reason. Like, I don't know what this weird block in my brain is. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how to get rid of it. And it's frustrating. And the frustration is obviously making things worse because it's hard to be creative when you're frustrated. And it's hard not to be frustrated when I know that I have the ability to do this. My brain is just putting up stupid resistances for no good reason. Like, I just need to switch my mindset, even though this is a draft 5.2. So much of it is new. It's... Wait. Hold on. Okay, I'll be back. Very sorry about how abruptly I ended that last clip. It is now the next morning. I did it. I found the magic word that just unlocked the door in my brain and now everything is fine. I wrote 1,300 words last night. So as I was saying before I interrupted myself and ran away, the problem is that I can't get draft 5 quality out of my brain. So my drafting words, my brain isn't thinking of them as drafting words. It's thinking of them as like 5 layers of polished. And that's just not the reality of what I'm writing right now. This doesn't need to be Monsters and Imaginary Friends draft 5. This needs to be Monsters and Imaginary Friends version 2 draft 1. And as soon as that thought popped into my head, it was like that was the secret password that the guards were waiting for, and they're like, oh, okay, you're good, yes, you're allowed in, come on. Like, and like I said, I wrote 1,300 words last night. Before this, I was averaging between 100 to 300 words a day. Actually, that's not even true, because I was only writing every couple of days, so I was averaging 100 to 300 words every couple of days. I haven't even gotten 1,300 words in a week. In over a month. Like, it just flowed so easily. It's not sloppy like my first drafts usually are, but just thinking of it as a first draft has removed all of the pressure that I can just write and move on. And if I don't like the exact phrasing of something, if I can't think of the exact word, then I'm going back to what I was doing before, like way before, and just color coding it. I have a little color coding system, like blue is character stuff, purple is world building explanation, orange is setting, red is like tone and atmosphere, like that kind of thing. I just change it to that color and then move on. And then if I do have to reread something to like figure out where I'm at or just kind of make sure that the events are making sense with how I've moved things around, instead of my brain getting stuck on every single word of, ooh, that could be better, ooh, that could be better, ooh, that could be better. Seeing it in the different color, my brain is just like, oh look, I've acknowledged that that's a problem, and now future me will see it and fix it so we can let that be a future me problem. I've also been using the comment feature in Microsoft Word. I've used it in Google Docs before, but I've never used it in Word. And the things that I just need a little bit more thought on, instead of staring at a blank document until the thought resolves itself in my head, or typing it out in the document and like inflating my word count, and then every time I reread it, rereading the thought and getting stuck again, now that it's in a comment, again, I see it and my brain is like, okay, look, that has been acknowledged. We don't have to worry about that right now. Let's just move on. And it's so much smoother. So even though this writing vlog started as just something I was filming, and honestly not fully intending to post because I was worried about the quality with how sick I was like, oh, let's just film a couple of clips, pretend I'm gonna actually make a vlog, and then that'll at least motivate me to write a little bit while I'm feeling sick. And I've completely fixed my entire motivation and approach to this. I'm feeling so much better, so much more positive, so much less stressed and just overwhelmed at the idea of writing. This was wonderful. I am so happy I did this. I am going to end the vlog here though. It is now into the work week. I actually start work in about an hour. So this is the perfect ending spot, and I feel like what a positive note to end on. I couldn't ask for better. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here and like being virtual support. Very helpful, honestly. But that will be it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit the like button to let me know, and subscribe to stay up to date with the rest of my videos. I post new videos once a week, usually reading or writing related. So I hope to see you guys next time, and until then, have a great day. Bye!